You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. Come on, answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Ron Kelly's radio program, broadcasting live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, the Ron Kelly Show YouTube channel, and also on X, formerly known as Twitter. Ooh, boy. Oh, I'm looking kind of scruffy here. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everybody, and shout out to one of my sponsors, American Porterfield Transportation. We will get to them in just a little bit. Okay, boy, we got a big snowstorm coming. Boy, I mean, how could anybody live in Buffalo? You know, and some of those play Buffalo and Chicago. I mean, I guess they do because they're there. But how could anybody live in, 12 feet of snow? Oh, my God. I can't even imagine. The last time we had a really, really big snowstorm here was in 1996, I believe it was, where everything was shut down. The public transportation, the trains, the planes, the automobiles, everything had stopped because of that snowstorm. And wow. So anyway, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. It's January 18th already, 2024. Man, thank God that 23 is over. Well, I can't say that really because, you know, you made it through. If you're still here, you made it through. So we got a big storm coming up here pretty soon. You know, I'm hoping it starts before I have to be at work. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. You know, peace be upon the family members who died when the electric power line fell on their car. You know, and they say that if the power line falls on your car, you need to stay in your car. You know, don't get out. Or if you have to get out, jump out. But don't, when your feet touch the ground, make sure that no part of your body is touching that car because that's the ground. The electricity will go through you to the ground. So you make sure you dive out and make sure that you don't touch the car as you're getting out. All right, everybody, it's a couple minutes after 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Ron Kelly Show, heard all around the world, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. So definitely go to the Ron Kelly Show YouTube channel and subscribe. Check me out on YouTube. And I suggest that if you're going to watch the program on YouTube. This way we can get things started. All right. Shout out to my people at Fume Cigar Lounge in Montclair, New Jersey. Cut the check, please. Fume Cigar Lounge, Montclair, New Jersey, where I usually am on most evenings. Take a little break, though. Once a week, you know, inhaling smoke and stuff. Once a week from now on. Okay, everybody. So, you know, we just had another Martin Luther King birthday come and gone. You know, Arizona was the last, Arizona was the last state to honor the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Even after the United States of America and Ronald Reagan, I believe it was, made it a national holiday. The state of Arizona still didn't want to comply. So another Dr. Martin Luther King birthday. Shout out to the folks who went out there, because I know a couple of people who actually went out there and did something for the day. So went out and did some community work, which is sorely needed. We definitely need to do more of that. So anyway, so we had the Martin Luther King holiday, and you know, and I've seen some of these things people who are having Martin Luther King Day sales, and there was even a Martin Luther King Day twerking exhibition. And I'm like, what would Dr. Martin Luther King say if he was alive today and he looked around and saw what was going on? He'd probably say, man, I died for nothing. You know, he would probably say he died for absolutely nothing. So anyway, there was a event planned, a Dr. Martin Luther King event, and on a flyer they had a Flavor Flav chain around Dr. Martin Luther King's neck, which I thought was just unbelievable. They had the thing around his neck, a Flavor Flav chain. Just total disrespect of Dr. Martin Luther King, who gave his life, who knew that they were going to get him, gave his life in the name of civil rights, gave his life. And anybody that you find out here today is not going to give their life, Dr. Minister Farrakhan, and Reverend Al, these folks, they're not going to give their life to, because the first time that something happens, they're all going to just, they're going to, if somebody threatens them, they're going to shut up and stop talking. But, so Dr. Martin Luther King, who gave his life in the name of civil rights, gave his life, knew he was going to die. Because he said it in the speech in the March on Washington. He said, I may not get there with you. So he knew what was going on. And he kept going until he was killed. 10 minutes past the hour. So it's just total disrespect. So you look around the landscape of the Black community, and I know people, Ron, you're so negative. It's negative, what is negativity? Because right now the truth is negative. The truth is negative. What we, people, a lot of we don't want to say certain things in the Black community. We don't want to say that, I'm afraid in my own community. We don't want to say that. We don't want to say that I don't feel safe around my own people. We don't want to say that. We don't want to say that. We don't want to say I arm myself when I go in the Black community, which I do. And personally speaking, do I feel safer in the white community? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you can call it what you want to. But yeah, I do feel safer in the more safer in the white community than I do in the Black community. It's just the way it is. So we don't want to speak. When you speak truth, people are quick to say that you're being negative. So the truth is negative. So when you're speaking the truth, you're being negative, which doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. And 18 degrees outside, man, it is like frosty out there. And do I want to go back outside? No. But, you got to do what you got to do. There's a lot of cars not starting this morning because of this weather. But anyway, yeah, so the truth is often categorized as negativity because, I don't subscribe to the nonsense, to the denial of the truth. I don't subscribe to that. And a lot of us do. We subscribe to the don't say this, don't say that. We subscribe to it. So, so we subscribe to that and we don't want to tell the truth. We want to pretend that everything is just fine. Oh, don't say that. Why not? Because the truth is the truth. It's 10 minutes past the hour. And we're going to talk a little bit later on about Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, who was shot down by the white woman that he dated. And, I brought this up because someone who knows about my show said to me, why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about black men dating white women? This is not even about being racist, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but somebody did say to me, why don't you talk about that? So I will, in just a few more minutes. I'll talk about that. Jonathan Majors, Jonathan Majors, who was up and coming black leading man who was shot down by the white woman who he allegedly put his hands on. Allegedly. We don't know that for a fact. There was some video about him chasing her down the block and bringing her back to the car. You didn't see him do anything to her. So we'll talk about Jonathan Majors. We'll talk about the pitfalls and some of the more successful relationships between black men and white women. Because black women have a problem with that. Black women get upset when black men move on to date white women. They get upset. And, in some place in the white community, the white people get upset when they see one of their own date a black man, or a white man who dates a black woman. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. Everybody is 12 minutes past the hour. So 18, you can't get over that. 18 degrees outside. Snowstorm's coming. Get yourself ready. I just bought a shout out to Patricia Wilder, who should be on the radio. I don't understand what her problem is, but I've done radio with Patricia Wilder. She was absolutely fantastic. And, she'll come to her senses sooner or later. She'll come, and it doesn't necessarily have to be me. She's great on the radio. She has a good radio voice, and she should be on the radio. Patricia Wilder. Maybe she doesn't want to do the radio with me. That's fine. She doesn't want to do the radio with me. That's okay. She should be on the radio somewhere. All right, it's 13 minutes past the hour. You're watching The Ron Kelly Show. Right now we're on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube channel. It's not doing too great. So y'all need to get over there and subscribe to The Ron Kelly Show. Subscribe to The Ron Kelly Show. Listen to The Ron Kelly Show on YouTube if you can. Let's get those watches, listens, views, whatever you call it. Because there's a guy has 200 million followers. How the hell do you get 200? I wish I knew the secret to that. 200 million followers, this guy. And he's so popular that Elon Musk, who's the owner of Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, is trying to get this guy to come on his website. That's how popular this guy is. 200 million. That's even more than Kevin Hart and some of these other people. 200 million. I would give my right arm for 200 million followers, because that means I can stop working. But yeah, there's some guy, I don't know his name offhand, but he's got 200 million followers, and I would love to have 200 million followers. Okay, it's about 14 minutes past. Well, it's 17 minutes past the hour, actually. 15 minutes have elapsed since we started the show. So how do you get people to pay attention? How do you get people to pay attention to your program? Because it's not so much, with my show, it's not so much that the show's not interesting. It's just, hey, there's Patricia Wilder again on, I think that's X. I'm not sure. Yeah, on X. Yeah. So yeah, pass the word around. We'll get it together. It's the Ron Kelly Show, 15 minutes past the hour. So we'll talk about Jonathan Majors. We'll talk about some other things. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Patricia. The marketing, I need to get that going. the marketing, so people will know about the Ron Kelly show. So I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna, I need an agent. That's what I need. I need an agent and a producer, somebody to produce. Oh, it's YouTube. Okay, Pat Wilder, it's YouTube. Yeah, so I need somebody to produce the Ron Kelly show. It can't stand as a one-man band anymore. So I need someone to produce the show. Maybe I'll go on one of those Fiverr. Maybe I'll go on there and I'll get and find a producer who can produce the Ron Kelly show and who can create content, the kind of content that I need. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come right back with more. It's Ron Kelly Show, and it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And it's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com and ronkellyshow.com. It's hard to my cousin George. My cousin George says, welcome back. Thank you, cuz. I see your work. Thank you so much for checking in with me, my cousin George. Well, where is George now? Cousin George is retired. He's living somewhere where it's warm. I know he's not up here where we're about to get 8 feet of snow. So I'm sure he's somewhere where it's warm. Shout out to you, cousin George. Appreciate you. Patricia Wilder, send me that person's information. Send me that person's information so we can get this thing together and get this thing rolling. Because the Ron Kelly Show is poised for greatness. We just need some help with the marketing aspect of the program. All right, it's 18 minutes past the hour. Shout out to my people that I was there, cousin George. I was there for Shanika's wedding a couple of months ago in September. She got married on the Labor Day. I'm like, why would you get married on Labor Day? So I had to go down there. I drove down there, and I was at the wedding. It was beautiful. Had a great time. Food was good. My great nephews are like in their 20s. I'm like, man, you are getting old. My great nephews, who I hadn't met, so I was glad to go down there and meet with everybody. Don't let your family members. Now I wouldn't say waste away, but don't let your family members, Hey, what's up? Oh, wow. My niece is on, my other niece is on here who ain't getting married. So I ain't getting married. My niece, Booney. Her name is not Booney. That's what she calls herself on Facebook. Love you, niece. And thank you for checking out the Ron Kelly radio show. So, I was talking about Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is the up and coming black superstar who was ceremoniously dropped by Disney and dropped by whoever else, Marvel, after he was accused of beating up his girlfriend, his white girlfriend, and I talk to a lot of women and they're like, yeah, see, good for him because he shouldn't have been messing with no white woman. Now, come on. What the heck is that? But there are some people, because black folks get mad too. Black folks, black women in particular, get upset when black men cross the side of the tracks. I know what your name is. I didn't know Um, um, so people get upset. Black women get upset when black men date white women. They get upset, like they've been robbed. Black women are like, they get mad because they feel like they've been robbed. Like because actually, there's a couple of different ways you can look at that, and some people think that when a black man marries a white woman or dates a white woman, it's like he has given up on black women. And the same for white men. White folks get mad when black folks get mad when a black person crosses the line to date a white person, and black people get upset when, and vice versa, and so they get upset when a black person, dates a white person, and when a white person dates a black person, because it's like they've given up. And I can kind of subscribe to the giving up part, because I was telling somebody the other day, a black woman who I know, that, you see, white women, from what I've seen, and I'm not saying that, from what I've seen, white women are less aggressive than black women. See, I got my shirt on, right? Don't call me no damn OG. That's the Ron Kelly Show. Oh, okay, it's on this side. The Ron Kelly Show t-shirt. Not for sale. This is just something that I wear. And, Councilman Velez, you know what? I got to get Councilman Velez. I got to get you on the show, Councilman Velez, because I understand that somebody is running against you, somebody who we both know. So we need to get together, and I need to get you on my show. So, because we got a lot to talk about. Councilman Velez, and Councilman Velez has steered clear, not according to the women who has charged the black eye. Well, yeah. Well, you know what, Patricia? As y'all can see that I have issues with. See, I have issues with typing and talking at the same time. But no, nobody says anything when a black man dates a Latino woman, or a Latino man dates a black woman or marries a black woman. Nobody says anything about that. It's just black and white, it's black and white. Black women are, and I don't know if it's because of what they've been through, but black women are aggressive, very aggressive. And again, I don't know if because it's what they've been through, because white women don't go through what most black women go through. It's a cultural thing. And white women don't go through the things that black women go through. So white women are more passive and less aggressive, because black women are very aggressive. And for that reason, some black men have crossed over to the other side of the tracks and crossed over to dating the white women, because the white women are passive, and the white women will take more than a black woman will. Black women, and I've met some, I'm black after all, and I've met some black women who were extremely aggressive, almost in taking over the man's role. And I get it that, more black women have gone through more than white women. I get that, because white men don't do the things that black men do to their woman. And then I'm not saying that they're angels and they got Um, I'm not saying that they're angels and that they have halos hanging over their head. And you're right, Councilman Velez, Councilman Louis Velez, Fifth Ward of the great city of Paterson, New Jersey, underwater right now. But they're working on that. I mean, not in Councilman Velez's ward. I haven't heard of any floods over there. But yeah, you're right, Councilman Velez, that all nationalities have some. There are white men who got a bunch of baby mamas and the drama and the nonsense and don't pay their child support and these such things. Lamont Gates says there's no such thing as race mixing. All of you know what, Lamont and I have to agree. It's ethnicity mixing. Okay, I'll fix that. So you're right. It's not race mixing because there's only one race, the human race, and then you have a bunch of different ethnicities, and religions and so on and so forth. So yes, absolutely, Lamont Gates, I stand corrected. It is ethnicity mixing. Pat Wilder says. Well, okay, let me get back here. Councilman Louis Velez says that every nationality has some. Absolutely. Pat Wilder says, I made a comment that white women are not as aggressive. And yes, I don't think that white women are as aggressive as black women. Because black women seem to have this chip on their shoulder. As soon as you meet them, they got this chip on their shoulder they have a chip on their shoulder. And yeah, I think that, what happens is when we go through stuff, and we all go through stuff, men do it too. And after we've been through the storm of being with whoever or whatever, when you get to the next relationship, you say to yourself, well, I'm not doing that no more. And I'm not taking this and I'm not taking that. And you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that. So what happens is the next guy has to wear the cement jacket from the last guy. Because when you move on to the next relationship, it's like, I want this, I want that. I mean, I had a woman tell me I had to get on my knees to be with them. I'm like, a black woman. I'm like, are you serious? Get on my knees? Yeah. Lamont Gates says there's no such thing as race mixing. Absolutely, Lamont Gates. Pat Wilder says men are unfaithful on both sides. Yeah, that is true. Councilman Velez says that we need to look at the reason and make females aggressive. Yeah, okay, I definitely agree with that. But why do you allow what you've been through to change you? That's my question. Why do you allow what you've been through to change you? Yo, look for Councilman Velez to be on the Ron Kelly Show within the next week or two. I'll definitely contact him. Councilman Velez is a very interesting guest. And he has some insight. He's not a politician. He's a regular person who happens to hold a political office. So we'll talk to him in a week or so. But yeah, and you're right that you're right, Councilman Velez, that we need to look at the reason why black women are aggressive. We need to look at the reason for that. But you don't let oh God, there we go to this core issue stuff. Pat Wilder says when people don't deal with core issues, what the heck is a core issue? What is a core issue? And I've heard somebody else say that, but I hope they're not watching the show because they're going to be, coming back at me. Well, yeah, you see what happened? Somebody said mentioned core issues, but because of I think because of the economics. I think because of economics, and the plight of the black man in the United States of America, these things like not paying this and I'm not paying that. I think the economics has a lot to do with it. But you see, every race or every ethnicity, Lamont Gates, has a set of core values. Every ethnicity has a set of core values. Hispanic. When I see, for example, and I'm saying that all Hispanics are lawn people, what I forget what they call it right now. And I see the women out there. When a man has a little construction company, I see the wife out there pouring cement. You know, I see, even when they're just collecting bottles and cans, I see the husband and the wife out there at the same time collecting those bottles and cans. You know, and the you know, in the Hispanic community, the wife and the husband work together. No matter what the situation is, a wife and a husband work together. I see the women with the landscapers. I see the women out there with their men cutting grass, trimming, you know, hedges. The women are out there in the Hispanic community. The women will swallow their pride and they'll go out there and they will help their man, you know. But you don't see that in the Black community. You don't see that, you know. That's why, you know, one of the things I love, you know, I can appreciate about the Hispanic community is the women will get out there and work too. They'll get out there and trim the hedges and cut the grass while the man is out there doing the same thing. But you ask a Black woman, she's gonna be like, "What? Cut grass? Are you kidding me?" They're not going to do that, you know. So Pat Wilder says, from childhood to adulthood, you must address the things that affect. Yeah, and see, and you know, in a lot of cases, you know, first of all, Black people, our people, don't have core values. Lamont K says, you've had some bad. No, well, we've all had bad experiences, Lamont, even you. But even the great Lamont Gates has had, and Pat Wilder says that all the women I know are hardworking women. Yeah, indeed. But there's an air of arrogance with Black women. There's an air of arrogance. You know, you got to be this, you got to do that, you got to do the other. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing the other. You know, and you got to admit that there is a big difference between how Black women, I mean, across the board, there's a big difference with how Black women carry themselves and how white women carry themselves. And Black women are infinitely more aggressive. Now, no, Lamont Gates, I have not had a whole bunch of bad experiences. Pat Wilder says they've held it down. Well, yeah, okay, they've held it down, but Black women are not supposed to be, women in general are not supposed to be holding it down. That's the man's job, you know. And what has happened in the Black community, and partially because the men don't, you know, are not doing what they're supposed to do, the women have taken on the man's role, you know. And Pat Wilder's statement, women are not supposed to be holding it down. The man is supposed to be holding it down, not you. The man is supposed to be holding it down. And see, and this is how it goes down. And see, Pat Wilder, you need to come on this show, girl. You need to come on this show. You need to stop playing, and you know, and come on the Ron Kelly show with Pat Wilder, and we can have this discussion right here. There's a split screen. It goes right down the middle, right here. And I'll give you the information, and you can, you know, go on in your computer and you can use the information, and you can come right here on the show, and you can state your case, because I know you're not going to be foul and all of that, you know. Because it can't, you know, some people you can't bring. I can't bring certain people on the air. You know, I can't bring certain people on the air. You know. So yeah, let's have that discussion, because y'all know, Black women, y'all know that there you go. There you go, Pat Wilder. Yeah, we can talk about relationships. You can come here, you know, and represent your angry Black women. You can come here and do just that. You can come here and we can have a discussion. And I definitely want to get Councilman Velez on the show, who's being ran against rather aggressively, and it's not a Black woman that's running against him. But yeah, and you know, when black folks were brought here, and I talked about slavery last week. I'm not going to talk about it again this week. When black people were brought here, they were stripped of everything because black women in Africa were down with their men. There was no anger. There was no, colossal pride and all this stuff. Black women knew their role, in the relationship. The black woman would go down to the stream and bring water back to the hut. Black woman would chop a chicken's head off with no problem. The black women did that back in the day because that was the culture that black folks had in Africa. I want to get Dr. Umar Johnson on here too. I got to text him and see if he'll come on. That was because black folks had core values and a culture before they were brought to America. We had core values. We had a system of doing things with a woman. And a woman would go down to the stream and get a bucket of water with a baby on her back. She would come with a baby. She would go down to the stream with a baby on her back. Very funny, Lamont. The black woman would go down to the stream with a baby on her back, and she would go get the water and didn't complain, oh, my feet hurt, oh, my back hurts. She just did what she had to do. So black folks in Africa, before they were brought to America and corrupted, black folks had a wonderful set of core values where the woman knew her place. And I don't mean to say her place. Yes, Lamont Gates. Let me connect the dots. Let me take a quick break and come back. Let me take a quick break and come back with more of this program. Mr. Ron Kelly Show, everybody. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X.
The United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, RonKellyShow.com, Facebook, right now, live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter, which Elon Musk has completely destroyed, and is worth less than half of what he paid for it. But when you're a multi-billionaire, when you're the richest person on the planet, you can lose 20 billion and I'll make it back some other way. Anyway, everybody, welcome back. It's the Ron Kelly Show. It's January 18, 2024. Snowstorm on the way. And if it's going to come, start now. So by the time it's time for me to get out of here, I won't have to get out of here. All right. Pat Wilder says we should discuss all types of relationships with our significant others' money. But we can do that, Pat Wilder. But you got to come across, baby girl. You got to come across. You got to maintain your interest, my sister. Because I've been telling you for the longest that you are a radio talent. And I know talent. And I've been telling you for a long time that you are a radio talent and you should use that talent to your advantage. 19 minutes before the end of the program. So yeah, so back in the day, before black folks were dragged to the United States of America, we had a culture, and black men and black women in relation got along very well because black men knew their place and the black women knew their place. There was no question about it back then. But then we were brought to America and we were told we could not, first of all, we weren't kept together. When we were brought to America, we were told that we couldn't have, when we were brought to America, we were told we couldn't have, we couldn't have a culture, we couldn't have a religion, we couldn't learn to read and write. All these things we were told, we had to even change our names. So everything that we believed, we were no longer allowed to believe. And that's where Lamont Gay says African men had multiple wives and very often neglected the ones they did and loved the most. Well, what can I say? Yeah. Well, what can I say, Lamont? At least they knew their places. See, a black woman ain't gonna let you do that today. So that may be true. I mean, in some cultures in Africa, men were allowed to have a bunch of different wives. Yes, they were. But you see, for the ones who didn't want a whole bunch of wives, when we were brought here, that's when the culture was lost. That's when the culture was lost, when we were brought here. And that was the problem. So we came to America, we were stripped of everything, and then President Lincoln decides to release the slaves, and we had lived for years serving the white man without anything, without an education, without proper breeding, without relatives. I mean, we weren't allowed to have relatives. If you got too close to somebody, they shipped them off and sold them to somebody else. So when we brought to America, we were stripped. And see, this is why we have no culture today. We talk about the Willie Lynch syndrome, and I've read the Willie Lynch book about how the slave owners pitted black folks against each other. They were able to do that because black folks did not have any type of core values. Everything was stripped. So after hundreds of years of slavery, I mean, it was just, it was terrible. It was terrible. Shout out to Mike Gates. Shout out to all those people who listen to the show. Pat Wilder. Shout out to my cousin George Crawford, who I haven't seen in a while. Last time I saw George was at the family picnic in Jersey City, the Lincoln Park. That was the last time. But Pat Wilder, we will get together, my dear Councilman Louis Velez, my niece Shanice. Shout out to my niece Shanika, who just got married recently. I was there. Yes, sir. I was there. Took 1 million pictures. Love my nieces and my grand nephews, whose father was killed in the backwoods down there in North Carolina. Peace be upon him and his 3 sons and his daughter. Okay, so this is what's the problem with the black community today, because we're still like on this plantation in a lot of ways. Because the house Negroes, the field Negroes are jealous of the house Negroes because the field Negroes could steal a biscuit, whatever the case may be. And they were able to live in the house and live comfortably. Even though they were slaves, they were able to live comfortably inside the house. And then the field Negroes who lived out in the barn and stuff, they were upset with the house Negroes. It's the same thing today. The people who don't have are jealous of the people who do have. Kicking each other's backs in, talking about each other. No communication, no unity, no nothing. So the core values, so the Hispanics, I won't say the Chinese, but the Hispanics, the Asians, the Jews, everybody has a set of core values except for us. Everybody has a core. Everybody, except for us. We're the only ones that don't have a set of core values. Because things aren't passed. Everybody's different in the Black community. Every family is different. Each family has a different set of values, or if you can call them that. Every family or every generation, whatever, has a different set of values. Black folks, we don't have a uniform set of core values. We don't have that. But the Asians have it. The Hispanics have it. Even the migrants, they got it, but we don't have it. So we're kind of like out there just floating around and, killing each other and kicking each other's backs and talking about each other, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not saying that's true with all Black folks. But for the most part, that's why you go in the Black community. You go in the Black community like Newark or someplace like that, they'd be scared to death. Newark, East Orange, Irvington. You don't want to be around there late at night. You don't see Asians hanging on the corner, maybe in Chinatown, but they hang where they live. And so, because we were stripped of everything when we were brought here by the founding fathers, George Washington, whose name is on every school in every state in America, was a slave owner. But, let me get back to the point that we do not have a set of values that are universal amongst all Black people. The only value that we have is we all like chicken. That's it. We all like chicken. But there's no uniform set of standards or core values in the Black community. Each family or each generation, whatever, has their own little set of whatever it is. We don't have that. So this is part of the problem. And Lamont threw me off, Pat Wilder. But so this is the problem. But in regards to, because I've talked to some women, I know women, they call me, they talk to me about what's going on. And they want to know what I think. And some Black women were saying, like, we're good for Jonathan Majors because he shouldn't have messed with that white woman in the first place. Plenty of Black men wind up in jail messing with Black women too. Because Black women will call police on you in a heartbeat. So I'm not saying that white women are better than Black women or Black women are better than white women. It's just, kind of like the luck of the draw. Like whoever you wind up with, that's where your problem is going to come from. And I feel bad for Jonathan Majors because his career is essentially over. He was on his way up. And there are some Black women who've said to me, well, good for him because he should have messed with that white woman in the first place. And I do kind of identify with Black women when they say that Black men, when they date white women, it seems like they've given up on Black women. and they rather date a white woman because a white woman is easier to get along with. She's not angry. She's not aggressive like most black women can be. And I love my sisters. Don't get me wrong. Love you to death. But this is an observation. And there are some women, black women, who are very aggressive, very mannish. You know, and Pat Wilder earlier said, let's see what she said. She said, this is what Pat Wilder said. She says they have held it down. And see, a black woman is not supposed to be holding things down. A man is supposed to be holding things down. And a woman should assist her man, but she shouldn't be toting the whole note. She shouldn't be paying all the bills. But sometimes you got to remember, though, if you're single, if you're a black woman and you're single, you got to take a look at yourself and wonder, like, why? You got to wonder why. You gotta wonder why. It's about 9 minutes before the hour. Or before the end of the show. It's 5 minutes before the hour, 9 minutes before the end of the program. So yeah. So, you know, I don't think that Jonathan Majors got in trouble because he was with a white woman. He got in trouble because he, you know, should have had a handle on things, especially when you're up and coming and if you got money and you've got prestige, you're about to be a movie star, et cetera, et cetera. You know, Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't dating a white woman when he got in trouble. But yeah, this is the thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that black men should not date white women. I can't necessarily say that. But from my experience, I do know that white women are a lot less aggressive and are a lot less reactive than black women. A lot less aggressive, a lot less reactive, you know, than black women are. And you're right, Councilman Luis Velez, that there's a reason why black women are as aggressive and angry as they are. And I'm not thinking about, like I said, love my sisters, love my beautiful Nubian chocolate sisters. For real, for real. You know what I mean? But, you know, women should not have to, and see, this is where all that comes from, where Pat Wilder says they had held it down. And see, and that's where all of that comes from. Because women, once they are hurt, because white women will forgive you. You know, white women will forgive you. Black women will not forgive you. You know, very demanding, and not all, but, you know, some who have been injured, you know, because there's a lot of wounded veterans out there, women who have been hurt by men. And this is where that attitude comes from, as Councilman Velez was saying. That's where the attitude comes from. It's 5 minutes before the hour. 5 minutes before the program is over. So, yeah. So, you know, and I know this black women, they've given me the side eye, the ones who have seen the show. If they see me tomorrow, they're going to be looking at me like, you know, what? But no, it's, I mean, like I said, I love my black women. Love them to death. Angry, aggressive, militant. You know, love them, love them to death. But come on now, give me a break. But I'm gonna have Pat Wilder on the show, and we're gonna go into depth with this. Where, because right now right now you have no advocate. So I'm gonna let bring Pat Wilder on the show. And she's going to be an advocate. She's going to be an advocate for the black women. And again, I don't say that all black women are bad, and all black women are angry and aggressive and militant, because they're not. But, you know, unfortunately, a large majority are. You know, so the Ron Kelly Show has been sponsored by Amica Imported Food Transportation. Amica Imported Food Transportation for 40 plus years have been providing safe and reliable transportation to folks schools, churches, all types of reliable transportation to folks in the New York metropolitan area. So definitely get with them. American Porter for Transportation in Plainfield, New Jersey, 307 Arlington Avenue in Plainfield, New Jersey. Yeah. All right, it's a couple minutes left to the program. I know if y'all want to kick my back in, you're more than welcome. Lamont Gates, finally, Lamont Gates says there shouldn't be a uniform set of values based on ethnicities. We are all individuals. It's like saying one ergonomic group should be. This is what Lamont Gates says. There shouldn't be a uniform set of values based on ethnicities. We are all individuals. It's like saying one ergonomic group should all be Muslim, Republican. Well, no, I'm not necessarily saying that, Lamont. What I'm saying is have a set of core values, whatever they are. Whatever ethnicity you are. Only thing I was saying was the Asians have it. The Muslims have it. There's certain things that they do across the board. Like most of the women are covered. And I mean, there's some who are not, but most of the women are covered. And yeah, you're right that the Muslim men are allowed to have a bunch of wives. But if a wife is amenable to it, I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? If the wife, like Sister Wives, a crazy show on TLC where one man has like 4 or 5 different wives, 4 or 5 different homes. He can just, chill with this one, chill with that one. If the woman is open to it, then what can you do? And the women in that show are open to being a sister wife. So they get together with the other wives and they chill with each other and yada yada. But they're open to that. The black woman, you couldn't have unless it was a situation like Muslim, for example. Black women ain't having it. They're not sharing. Anyway, it's about 2 minutes before the end of the program. I want to thank everybody, Lamont Gates in particular, Pat Wilder, Councilman Luis Velez, et cetera, et cetera. My cousin George Crawford. What's up, cuz? See you soon. My niece, Shanice, my niece. Shout out to all my peeps down in Maxton, North Kakalaki. It's cold down there too. Man, this is ridiculous out here. This is gonna be crazy tomorrow. And I'm on the fence as far as like leaving here. But anyway, everybody do partake of the Ron Kelly Show, even if it's just for a few minutes. I don't expect everybody to stay on the show for a whole hour because I don't stay listen to anybody else's show for a whole hour. Ronald McCready, my brother from almost kindergarten, practically. Don't tell everybody how old you are because then you'll be giving me away. Ronald McCready, what's good, my brother? Very good to see you. We'll talk more offline, but very good to see you, brother. Anyway, it's about 45 seconds left to the program. Thank you all. Ronald McCready, Lamont Gates, Pat Wilder, Councilman Luis Velez, my niece, Shanice, and everybody who partook of the Ron Kelly Show this afternoon. Everybody do, listen to a brother every now and then. Just click in for a few minutes. You go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the Ron Kelly Show. I really would appreciate it. All right, so we'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. I'm going to reach out to Councilman Luis Velez. Pat Wilder is going to come on the show and talk about relationships and get on my nerves. But we'll be back next week. So until then, everybody, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together, but together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm done.